Hello and welcome to
Minding My Black-Owned Business,
a series where we spotlight and shine on Black entrepreneurs. We're going to share their stories and we're going to uplift the work that they are doing in their industries. We are your hosts, Blanca
and Janae.
And today we have a special episode for you.
This public affairs company is dedicated to amplifying the voices of the underrepresented through research, policy, advocacy, and economic justice.
Power to the people. Power to the people.
My baby, my Valentine. Can I hear them making my temperature the rise? If you leave me, I could die. I swear.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel, Curtis Marketing, and today we're interviewing some entrepreneurs with a public affairs company, Devin and Logan. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your company and what it is you guys do?
Yeah, so I can start. We are Noel Endres Public Affairs. We do research and policy consulting for nonprofit organizations as well as government agencies. And we really just focus on helping them develop their own solutions, consulting related to research and policy, and really just advancing DEI and racial equity in Washington State.
Wow. I would add to that, I would just add some of the specific things that we offer to organizations is like data consulting, grant findings. Like if your organization needs funding, you can hit us up and we can help find you grants or help support you in writing and actually getting grants turned in. On the policy and advocacy side, we can provide training for how to advocate, how to get involved with your city council, your county council, how to empower youth in your community, or just how to advocate for yourself as an organization and your needs, and connecting you with elected officials.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of stuff that you guys do, but so is it something that is it just for Washington State, or are you also able to help other nonprofits that are outside of our state?
Yeah, we're definitely open to helping people outside of the state, even outside of the country as well. Yeah, we're willing to help everyone.
Good. Okay. And so can you give us some information of how they can find you?
Yeah. The easiest way to find us right now is just by sending us an email. We have an email address, info@noelendrespublicaffairs.com. Coming soon, we will have a live web page, noelendrespublicaffairs.com, where we'll have just information about our services, some information from past clients that we've had, as well as a contact form. We just don't have the website all the way up and running just yet. We're getting there.
You can also find us on LinkedIn. If you type in Devin Noel Endres or Logan Noel Endres, just send us a message and we'll be
they can DM you on LinkedIn, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So can you just give us an idea of share with us a success story that you've had that kind of made an impact to a nonprofit organization?
Yeah, I can start. So I was working with a transit organization here in county, and they are specifically interested in making their organization anti-racist and really just living up to that goal of racial equity and social justice. And we stepped in with some other partners to help them analyze some of their human resource data to really figure out if they're paying their employees the same wages based on their race and their gender, making sure they're having inclusive hiring policies, discipline policies, and promotion policies. We're all just really looking at their organization and seeing if they're really living up to the goal of becoming anti-racist. So we worked with them and we produced the report for them and presented it, and they're really happy with their results. We found out that there was some inequities in terms of the salaries of their employees, particularly for people of color, as well as women weren't getting the same type of leadership roles compared to men. And we presented that to their team and they were really appreciative of it. and we're planning to present this work in Tokyo, Japan, as well as
Wow.
Cyprus, to really just show the international community that you can also do this work in other settings. We find it really important, especially in a world where DEI is being targeted and weaponized. It's just really important that we're helping everyone and creating solutions that benefit everyone. So that was a really cool success story, and I'm excited to continue sharing it with more people.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Did you guys end up like getting better wage? You said lesser wages for the women. Did the women end up getting better wages in the company, or did that company, what changes did that company make based on your research?
Yeah, so we weren't able to impact like how much they were able to pay people, but they're able to really look at the different policies and practices that they had in place to really look at what they're doing wrong and what they need to do to be better. So hopefully when we follow up with them like in a year or two, we'll be able to see some better outcomes for folks.
Right.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And so you go, you go back and work with that same company in a year or so and just kind of see where they are later on, like in a year?
In some cases, this contract, not particularly. In some
Mhm.
contracts, we would like have a long-term kind of thing.
Mhm.
But we'd probably just check in with them to see how they're doing, to see if
Oh,
they need any assistance, and yeah, just seeing if they're really implementing the goals and practices that we set for them.
okay.
That can, I mean, that also can be kind of like, for like prospective business owners out there watching, like that could
Mhm.
almost kind of be like a business development aspect as well. Because
Right.
when we turned in that report and presented it to their team, our contract ended. That was all we were
Mhm.
being compensated for. The duties were done. But by kind of proactively thinking about your clients and like checking up on them and saying, hey,
Mhm.
like we did this project last year, how's it going?
Yeah.
Maybe they say, hey, it was really great, and we really need your help in doing this next step. Like in this case,
Right.
maybe it's, I don't
Yeah.
know, rewriting a policy to make that
Yeah.
better. That's business development. They could hit us
Right.
up and another contract and say, oh, can
Right.
you help?
Be an additional service that you can offer to these
Mhm.
companies later on, to say, hey, I know we worked with you and we did this research for you. Maybe we can help you implement these changes and build policies for you. So
Mhm.
just throwing that out there. Ha, that was
Yes,
Right.
thank
free.
you, thank you.
That was free, okay? Okay, so can you tell us like what are your biggest challenges as a public affairs company?
You go first.
Yeah, I think I would say we kind of have two main challenges. The first one is just around like not having the knowledge and experience in developing a business.
Mhm.
We have been doing this for well, just over a year and a half.
Yeah.
So coming up like June will mark our 2-year anniversary as a business.
Wow. Okay.
And for example, we don't have a live website.
Mhm.
For example, like, there are just pieces of, oh, right, we need to figure out how to do a website, or we need to contract with someone, Curtis Marketing
Mhm.
Consultants, to help
I
with
got
some of
you.
that just sort of like development
Right.
stuff.
Mhm.
And also like the process of going to find our business license and make all of that happen.
Mhm.
Um, we definitely we literally couldn't have done it alone. We have
Yeah.
had like mentors and colleagues and friends that, have shared advice with us or sat down and had strategy discussions with us about, putting together some of those things.
Mhm.
But this is something that someday we would like to be doing as our full-time jobs. This is obviously like a part-time side hustle kind of
Side
activity
hustle.
right now. And
Mhm.
so I think that like skill and knowledge development of like how do you go from, this size business to this size business,
Mhm.
um, has been our biggest challenge and continues to be a challenge that, we're
Mhm.
navigating and getting opportunities like this to come and talk with y'all's community,
Mhm.
is like really great steps. And like, yeah, I think there's definitely a space out there for knowledge about supporting businesses to develop
Right.
and grow and all the things.
I
Right.
think
And see, in this, oh, I'm sorry.
no,
Did you
yeah,
have
go.
something to say?
I was gonna say, like, jumping off that last point of kind of the time, I feel like that's also
Mhm.
been a really hard thing is
Mm.
like Logan said, this isn't our full-time job. This is like a side thing. So we still
Mhm.
have our full-time job and we're still running a business and we still have friends and family and a relationship to take care of and we're in
Right.
an internship. So another hard
Right.
thing has just been balancing everything and making sure we're having enough time and really putting in the effort that this company really deserves to building it
Yes.
out. And
Yeah.
we haven't mastered that yet, but
Yeah.
I think every day we're getting better at it of
Yeah.
just finding ways to be more productive in our time and using it wisely.
Yeah. One of the things that I will I have noticed from doing this series here of minding my Black owned business is a lot of Black owned business owners, they really haven't like really gotten that concept of, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my business. This is where I want to make this my full-time job and be able to quit my full-time job, right? Um, and you're not by yourself. There's a lot of business owners out there who don't have websites, who don't work their business full time, who, use it as a side hustle. So don't get discouraged about that. But just understand that in the first year of a business is when they fail, right? So you guys are in your second year now, so you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're yeah, happy for that. So I'm available to you if you need anybody to kind of give you some guidelines or some help, to try and get some information on how to get your licensing and that sort of thing. I can help you with that. But also, um, just I would say, just some advice, just make sure that you are working your business. This is what you want. If this is what you want to do, you want to be able, you have to put in that sacrifice. It's a big challenge. Like, we are here, it's 8 p.m. and we're doing this. So you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work, and it is a sacrifice, but in the end, you will see it to where you want to go. A lot of people, they give up because they want to be able to, in the first year, I want to start my business, I want to run my business, and then it's like, oh, it's just too much work. Being an entrepreneur, it's hard. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, how much work we put into it. And so when we are providing these services or products to our customers, and you hear that, oh, that costs too much, or your services are too high, your prices are too high, it's like, but you don't understand how much work I'm putting into this, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so don't give up, just continue I mean, you guys are doing awesome, you're in your second year. I applaud you for that. And I am available to you if you need anything, if you have any questions, you've got my number. So yeah. um so I want to ask you, like, you did mention that you have, and this is kind of like a little side note that I just thought about, but I want to ask you, like, you mentioned you guys, this is not your full-time thing. What is it? What is your education? What is your background, so that our viewers can see, like, where you're coming from?
Mhm. Yeah, so my background's actually in human services. So I got my bachelor's degree in psychology and my master's degree in research psychology. And I used to thought for the longest time I wanted to become like a therapist or some type of psychologist. So a
Mhm.
lot of my jobs early on focused on like working with kids with autism or Down syndrome and really gaining that experience. And those jobs were really rewarding and really impactful to the people I was working with.
Mhm.
Um, but it's also like very draining work. Anyone who's done like that type of work knows how draining it could be. And I wanted to make an impact on people, not just like on a one-on-one level, but on a more like community-wide scale.
Mhm.
And it was 2020, and I saw everything happening with COVID and Black Lives Matter. And it really just made me want to do something and find a way to give back to the community. Um,
Mhm.
so I ended up getting involved in research at my university. And from there, my professors just really encouraged me to go out and share my work with different people and different organizations. And I was able to do that, and I presented across a lot of countries. Um, and then I started working for the government doing research. And then ever since then, I just been getting more and more involved with how research can be used in policy and how research can be used to help communities create their own solutions to their own problems.
Mhm.
So I kind of fell into it, but it really just sparked out of me wanting to help and me wanting to make a difference and give back to the community.
Good. Good.
And I would say for me, I knew for a long time growing up that I wanted to do something in education. When I was a kid, I thought maybe I wanted to be a teacher someday. I mean, by the time high school happened, I knew a teacher wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to do something in the education world and wound up getting an internship at our state's Department of Education during high school, during my senior year. And that was super impactful, and I ended up continuing to work there while like pursuing my way through college. I got my bachelor's degree in public service and public policy, and then recently got my master's in public administration. And what I guess I would say is I learned a lot about different education programs when I was working for the State Department of Education. I was working in the migrant and bilingual education program there, um, helping to um, helping to work on legislation that eventually turned into the first pilot program for dual language education in Washington State. And that really got me interested in advocacy and the legislative process and empowering people, individuals, organizations, communities to advocate for themselves. Politics is a very white space. Politics is not community based in the sense that like things are written with a lot of jargon and like, they're not meant for community to understand or be involved. And I hate that.
Mhm.
So, being able to be in this work, to really try to break that down and to share what I've learned about how to navigate politics and the legislative process and all of the things, um, led to me working for a number of state agencies, and a couple of nonprofit organizations, really just pushing for one, like educational equity within our state's like laws and policies around education and early learning. And then also just like community advocacy, helping to empower people to engage and teaching people how to testify in the legislature, like in a committee, and helping prepare them to talk to their legislators and really just like advocate for their own needs. It's
Mhm.
been super, super great. And I really love what I get to do. And, in 2023, when Devin and I started this business, we were just kind of realizing that there's such a powerful connection between his background, which is really like research and data, and my
Mhm.
background, which is really like policy and community advocacy, and how those two sectors and like scopes of work can feed off of each other and help like really create like ideal scenarios. And that's kind of what led to us starting, or at least that led to our business being what it is now.
Mhm.
How else do you engage with your community as a public affairs company?
I think it's really just about showing up and being there.
Mhm.
Whether that's going to a community event, whether that's going one-on-one with a coffee shop or going to lunch with someone, or
Mhm.
really just supporting in any type of way. I think the way we really like to approach community engagement is really just being ourselves and connecting with people as humans and not really
Mhm.
connecting based on like we're an organization, we're an organization, like here's what we can do for you. Well, more of just
Right.
connecting like, hey, how's it going? What issues are you seeing in your community? What's happening? What solutions do you feel like are needed? And that's really been beneficial for us because we're able to connect with people on a human level. And that builds
Right.
trust and that builds safety with each other.
Mhm.
And then when you really have that baseline relationship, people then start asking you questions about like, oh, like what do you do?
Hmm.
I have this project with like, would you be interested in helping with that? Or like, I have this idea. What do you think? And it's really just been very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not a transactional relationship, but really pouring into community and community
Hmm.
pouring into us. And
Hmm.
it's just
You're
been
building that trust
yes.
with your
Mhm.
community, and you're letting them know that you're there, and you care about your community, and it's not just um, let me sell you something, right? It's not a salesy thing that you're doing. You're kind of connecting with the people that you meet. I find that that is the best way as an entrepreneur to get clients and get customers without really trying, it's
Mhm.
just by talking to people, just by, hey, you're in a coffee shop and then you just strike up a conversation with somebody, and then next thing you know, you find out that either they work in early childhood education or something like that, and you guys have something in common, and then
Mhm.
next thing boom, you have a client, right? It's very organic, and it's
Mhm.
not pushy or salesy. And so
Yeah.
I find that that's the best way in order to get clients as an entrepreneur, to be out
Mhm.
there and not be like the Avon or what was that
Yeah.
other one?
Mhm.
There was those
Mary Kay.
pyramid ones, yeah, Amway or whatever, So
I
you're
think
not out there trying to like, hey, let me sell you this thing,
mhm.
Mhm.
you're just out there talking to people.
I think the
Mhm.
other thing that helps with that is like we I mean not necessarily as our business, but like as Logan and Devin community
Mhm.
members, we really try to show up to places. So like if there's like a community organizing event, we're probably going to be there. We both serve on different boards of directors for local nonprofits in our region,
Mhm.
supporting like the queer community, Devin and me, like the higher education, workforce, apprenticeship community for young adults of color down here in Pierce County. So, really just again, like bringing the human sides of us
Mhm.
that doesn't have any kind of a like professional hat on to just say like, hey, we are two individuals that care about our community and also want to
Mhm.
give back in that way.
Yeah.
And I think some of the connections that we've been able to make just from literally being around their area and like at events um, have also just been really helpful for us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then
that's the best way to network, is just to
mhm.
kind of getting out there and just talking to people and being seen, being visible, so that they can get to know you and get to see who you are, and that's going to build the trust and build the relationship that could possibly become a working relationship together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really just
Yeah.
realize how connected everyone is and everything is because you meet someone who may know someone else who's doing the work that you're interested in, and
Mm-hmm.
really just realize that there's so many resources and there's so much money just in the
Right.
community that's waiting to be used, waiting to make some type of cool project. And you never
Mhm.
really know about those things unless you're connected with your community and really
Mhm.
just plugged in.
Right. And actually you'll meet a lot of people who are talented in ways that you probably don't even realize that they're talented in that way. It's like you can talk to somebody and find out that, hey, I have an MBA, and so I can help you. You want to start your business? I can help you, right? So
Exactly.
that sort of thing is just networking and talking to people, just getting out there and you know building that relationship is what's really important, especially in your community where you want to be a part of, right? So good. So, do you have any advice for anybody who is looking into getting into public affairs or entrepreneurship or anything like that?
Yeah, I have two pieces of advice. The
Mhm.
first one being, if you're passionate about something and you truly care about something and you think you have like really good ideas or really good skills to accomplish it, just do it. I mean, I feel like there's no like right time to start. Um, just start, whether you're just like taking courses to build out your skills or getting your education to get that degree. Um, you should just start and just like try it. Um, and then the second thing I was gonna say is be willing to ask for help.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier, there's so many resources and so many people that are willing to help and willing to like make your journey easier. Um, and I feel like that's been so impactful for us of learning about how to do our taxes as a business or
Mhm.
learning about how to write a contract or how to write an agreement or how to even like price your services. Like
Mhm.
that's all stuff we learned from other people who have their own
Mhm.
businesses. And when you ask for help, people are really willing to give it.
Yeah.
um, we've literally like hit up random people on LinkedIn and say like,
Mhm.
hey, I like really like your business, would love to talk more. And they're so willing to meet. They're so like willing to give you resources and give you knowledge. Um, so yeah, just don't be afraid to ask for help and
Yeah.
really realize like you can't do it by yourself and you shouldn't do it by yourself because there's so much knowledge and expertise that
Mhm.
you can use for your own business.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Mhm. I think, I mean, I think you really hit like so much of the good advice, like exactly where we wanted it to be. I think the only other thing I would say is just the process of starting, even turning it from an idea to even like taking the first step, even if it's like Googling, how do I get my business license?
Mhm.
So many people don't make it past there because it just can feel like a big thing. And like, while it is a big thing, like, by starting a business, you definitely are making a commitment. And like you were saying earlier, Blanca, like you need to spend the time and,
Mhm.
yeah, it is a thing, but if it's something you really want to do, it's not gonna feel like as big of a thing as maybe a regular job might. Like when you are passionate about what you're doing, it feels a little bit less like work sometimes.
Yeah.
So I guess
Definitely.
more of that advice of make it happen, try it out. And if you
Yeah.
fail or need to restart or whatever, no sweat. Like
Mhm.
do it on your own time.
And there's so much
Yeah.
potential of just doing really impactful work and working for yourself. And
Mm,
instead of, working really hard to give someone else that money in that paycheck, like you're pouring that back into yourself. And I think that's just so
Right. Right, definitely. And I find that especially in the entrepreneurship and Black communities, you will find people who are open to giving you advice and giving you just resources and help on how to even get started. And all you have to do is ask. So I really appreciate you guys talking to me and just sharing your story and sharing everything that you do. And we'll make sure that we put your information in our description so that if anybody has any, if they want to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you. We'll also put your LinkedIn information on there. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
uh, Thank you for hosting this
Yeah,
yeah.
space. And
definitely.
I mean, we love talking to you regardless of what we're doing, and to
Yeah.
get to, work with you in like a professional way like this,
Mhm.
and, utilize Curtis Marketing to really just help expand our brand means so much more than you know. So we're just really appreciative
Definitely.
of you thinking of us
Yeah.
for this really, really great series.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm here if you guys have any questions. Reach out to me and I'll definitely reach out to you guys. I have a couple of ideas I can throw your way
Oh,
as
okay.
far as like
Take them.
websites and that sort of thing. Okay. I'll throw you some stuff, throw some stuff your way. And so hopefully we'll be able to talk a little bit further
Oh, yeah.
For
on
sure.
business. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate this. Hopefully you guys have a good night. We'll see you later.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you,
you.
Wonka.
Bye.
Bye.
We want to hear your thoughts and what inspired you the most about this episode. And in the comments below, if you want to put in a Black-owned business that you support. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care of yourself.